Crims and Tide. We're here, like I said, for about another 2 hours, taking all of your texts, your calls, your hog reaction at 877-377-6963. Man, I'm out of breath just from watching that game. I mean, that is probably one of the best games I've seen, if not just this season, in the last 2 seasons, last 5, heck, go back 10 seasons. That was a ball game, and what KJ Jefferson and Treylon Burks and the cast of characters for this Arkansas Razorback team was able to do was absolutely phenomenal. You hung in there. You played toe-to-toe with arguably the second-best team in the country. Looked completely different from when you faced the number 2 team at the time, Georgia, back to start the month of October, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. Talking about a loss, but I feel like there's so much things that you can be positive about, right, Zach? I mean, what was your first reaction, kind of as the game was winding down, to this loss to Alabama? Zach, you there? I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here, trying to get Arns all the way up in Northwest Arkansas. He should be able to join us here in a second, as we're just ready to take some of your texts, your calls, 877-377-6963. Do want to remind you that this is the Game Day Lodge Hog Reaction, brought to you by, obviously, Game Day Lodge, the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, team building activities. 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, fire pit, 2 gas grills. The best place to go if you want to see your Hogs, Chiefs, Cowboys, Cardinals, any type of event. It's the perfect place to be at the Game Day Lodge. Reservations, you can contact them at reservations@lakelodge.net. They're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, Vivo, and also ask about Green Gable Lodges as well. Jason and Sarah Everett, big-time Hog fans, and I'm sure they were just as ecstatic and just a little bit disappointed like everyone else. 877-377-6963. First caller, Jeff in Springfield. Jeff, what is your Hog reaction?
Hey guys, love the show. What a great game. I tell you what, the kids played awesome. Coach did great. I don't want to talk about officiating. I'm not going to, but that last touchdown there in the fourth, there was no way that was a complete pass. He did not have, on Alabama's side, he didn't have possession. When he got the ball, he was out of bounds. I just want to hear you guys' thoughts. You take that play away from the game, plus a few of the other things that we did defensively, what's the score? It's tied up. We go to overtime. I'm just really impressed with the kids and the coach. Can't wait to get down there tomorrow or next weekend, next Friday. But got to be happy with where we are. But, at the end of the day, it's still in hell. But that touchdown pass was not correct. And then how many times did the officials have to review every play?
Yeah, it was a little frustrating.
The first half, I think. Yeah, every time. And it was against us that the first 3 times, I think, when they went to review the plays there in the first half, went against us. But you know what? Proud of the kids. Love the show. Love all you guys do down there in Northwest Arkansas. Can't wait to get down there Friday. Love you guys.
Hey, appreciate the call, Jeff, and you can follow him up, 877-377-6963. I think that's Arns in my headphones there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I believe we have you.
Hey, there we go. On the drive down, I was kind of, these kinds of games are you can't process them all in like 15 minutes and on a drive back. And I was just thinking to myself, this is the last piece in the puzzle where you're like, okay, from where this team was to where this team is now, I don't think you ever have to worry about this team and their effort again. I don't ever think effort and attitude are 2 things that you can't coach, and I don't think you ever have to worry about that again with this particular team. Now it's just go get your dudes. You got to go get some dudes to play at the highest level of the SEC, and then you're going to consistently be there. Kids played their hearts out tonight.
Oh,
and,
100%.
And you're at a point where you're just like one or two calls. The referee thing, I'm kind of over the whole, they're out to get us kind of thing. There were egregious calls on either side. This is just a great college football game. The kids played their hearts out, and you don't. We can go talk about the stuff that went wrong. We can do that tomorrow. But for right now, just appreciate the fact that they went down into the most hostile environment the league has to offer, and they hung tough. Now, you give up almost 700 yards. I mean, think about this. You give up almost 700 yards of total offense to a guy who's probably going to be in New York in a couple of weeks with a chance to win the Heisman Trophy. And with a minute and 4 seconds left, you're down 7. I mean, to think where this team was 24 months ago to where this team is today is pretty remarkable.
It really is. I mean, just due to the fact that coming off of the great September that you had 4-0, the magical run, the month, you're the national darling, then the downhill slide of October, thinking, oh my goodness, how are they going to get the train back on the tracks? How are they going to figure out a way to get to 7-8 wins? And look, regardless of how this game turned out, obviously you want to win the ball game. I mean, you play to win the game, as it famously has been said multiple thousands of times. But you wanted to be respectable. I think that was the biggest thing going into this game of how are they going to look? How far away are you really at this point from being able to compete with the big dogs, because you saw that you weren't really ready back in October. You weren't ready for the first weekend of October at 11 o'clock down in Athens, Georgia to face the Bulldogs. You just weren't ready. So were you going to be ready this time around? And I think everybody can agree, yes, you were 100% ready. You came to play. You stuck to your game plan, and you executed it to the best of your ability. And like you said, I think once you go out and get your guys, you finally get out of, and not to take anything away from the guys that are on the team right now. You like you said, they played their hearts out. They left everything they had on the field, but most of them aren't Sam Pittman's guys. I mean, most of them go back to being recruited by Chad Morris, and when you ultimately get the guys that will fit better with what Sam Pittman wants to do and wants to do going forward, it's going to be there, and you're so happy. I honestly have never been happier after a loss because it just shows that you're right there. I mean, you're right there. I mean, you're one touchdown away from possibly knocking Alabama out of the CFP.
Yeah. And I think it does. The one thing that it does for you is it sort of validates the game plan that Sam Pittman and his staff have, and that's a huge deal because there wasn't a game plan 24 months ago. And now, Sam has come in and he's sort of re-energized the program, given them a direction, which is, they're being you can tell they're being coached. They've got direction. They seem to be in this. They're certainly in a transitional period. But here's the thing: in this league, if you're good on the offensive line, you're good on the defensive line, and you're good at the quarterback spot, you're gonna have a chance to win most games. Alabama's kind of an outlier. They're not real good on the offensive line, but their quarterback is elite, and their wide receivers are elite. They can go and score with anybody. But if you're gonna play the way that Arkansas wants to, which is we're gonna run the football, we're gonna play an older style of game where we're gonna slow it down. You can do all the hurry up stuff you want. We're gonna make you dink and dunk and go down the field. They're a couple players short, a couple of elite level players short of being a contender for that, for the West or that 2 or that 3 every single year, and it's encouraging. But now that you've proven you can go do it, you got to go do it again, and then you got to go do it again and again. You can't have this just be that one moment where we went down there, we competed, and then fell flat. Yeah, and I certainly don't think that's the case. I was very big on KJ Jefferson over the summer. I didn't think there was any sort of a controversy at the quarterback spot, despite what Sam Pittman said going into spring practice, despite what people said over the summer. They spent so much time getting him ready. And I think early on in the season against Georgia, he looked like a deer in headlights. But tonight, he looked like a competent, above average to almost reaching into that, hey, he's really, really, really good level quarterback, and he's only going to get better, guys. He's got 2 years left.
He's got plenty of time, and
yeah, he's got more time to develop. And I made the mistake. I'm on social media and I'm watching some of the Kendall Briles hate tweets, and I don't get it. I mean, they put up over almost 500 yards against Alabama, guys. People griping about the third down calls. They were 1 third down conversion away from being 50%.
I mean, I don't know how you really can complain about that. And ultimately, some of the mistakes that were made on the offensive side of the ball, it wasn't Kendall Briles' fault. I mean, the false starts and the shooting yourself in the foot constantly is what I think did more of a damage than anything that Kendall Briles called today.
Yeah, it was. Look, you put up 500 yards against Alabama. There, you cannot say anything about anybody. Traylon Burks, I think, proved why he's elite. I was kind of chuckling as I was watching everybody, on social media talking about, Kendall Briles, or not Kendall Briles, but I think Traylon had, 179 yards total offense. What they kind of ignored was the two guys from Alabama who were both over 170 yards each. I mean, it was a fantastic football game, and I think as we get separation from the final score and when the gun hit, when the gun went off, and you start to go back and you watch it, I mean, it's going to be a classic college football game, and it's certainly one of those games that if Arkansas goes on and starts to make New Year's Six Bowls, you're going to point to that game and go, okay, this is the day that we turn the corner.
Mm-hmm. And that's you need that type of game, whether it's a close win or a close loss like this.
Every time a team arrives, you have one of those games you can point to. Okay,
every program's got one.
Yep. Win or lose, that's the game. Now, I was texting with Eddie in Clarksville just a little while ago. Okay, now that you've done this, now you got to start winning these games, and that's going to be that's the next step. Mm-hmm. Is okay, you get into these games against top 10 or top 5 teams, and you've got to start winning some of them. It's not easy to beat a top 10 team, but you've got to start winning some games here and there.
Exactly. You've got to, and they ultimately will. I think everything that we've talked about here in the first 10 minutes of Hog Reaction is a great sign of what is going to happen in the future, what's coming forward for this Razorback program, and just what KJ Jefferson really did today. I mean, 22 of 30 on an Alabama defense.
326 and 3. I mean, you tell me the last quarterback that went for 330 and 3 touchdowns against Alabama.
And ultimately, should have been 4. I mean,
right. Exactly. I mean, he is getting better. And he's becoming the quarterback everybody thought he could. It's but he's still a project. He's still evolving, and that's that's the word that I use every time somebody starts talking about this program is evolution. They are still evolving.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You haven't hit your peak yet, right? We're still on this upward projecting. We're riding the roller coaster. It's bumping. We're slowly going up. You haven't hit that top of the mountain yet, and that's great to think that you're halfway. Maybe halfway, if even that, on your journey up this Sam Pittman mountain that you're climbing, and at the halfway point, you're only 7 points worse than Alabama.
I mean, the number two team in the country.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know how you could really be that upset when technically, according to Vegas, you were supposed to lose by 3 touchdowns. You lost by 1. Every year for the last 5, you've lost by more and more. Heck, if we just went off of that, losing by 48 would have been a step in the right direction, because you lost by 49 last year, and you go down to the wire. You hang in with this team. I just don't see how the negativity can really be there. I get the negativity around the referees. I like a lot of people got caught up in the moment and thought the reviewing of it was terrible, especially on the touchdown that got called down at the 1 yard line, and then Johnson is 2 yards into the end zone, and they marked the ball at the 1. Like, yeah, I got caught up into it.
They go back and they get it right.
They did.
And again, the key phrase here is indisputable evidence. And it may look indisputable to you, or it may look indisputable to me, but we don't know the rules as well as the referees do, and they have to be absolutely certain. And that's, Just put that, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Talk about what happened on that field today and how the team went down and competed.
Exactly. 877-377-6963. Taking your Hog reactions. Call us or text in. That number again is 877-377-6963. We'll be right back with more of your Hog reaction right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Game Day Lodge.
Touchdown!
Whoa!
Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith is a place to be if you're looking for quality, certified, pre-owned vehicles. And when we're talking trucks, we're talking Randall Ford. Whether you're wanting one that's one of the Leadfoot Grays, we have those. Raptors, oh yeah, we have those. If you're looking for the Venom R, they're built specially for Randall Ford. I have a gorgeous lifted Venom R sitting right here by me. So come by and check out all the trucks, all the selection today at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith at Randall Ford.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. Companies often kick off the new year with planning or goal-setting retreats, and the perfect place is Game Day Lodge. They still have availability during the weeks for November and December, and Game Day Lodge is decorated for Christmas, so guests can make great family memories. It's the ideal time to book spring golf trips to Branson before the dates fill up. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
Messy leaks, stopped up toilets and sinks, all of these can be a nightmare. This is Emily with Mr. Rooter Plumbing in Fort Smith. Did you know that when you call Mr. Rooter, you get real-time tracking so you know exactly when to expect us? We know you're busy, so we send a reminder, so scheduling with us
Smith about Shelter's Home Insurance.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Links at Chaffee Crossing, located in Fort Smith, has the best barbecue in the River Valley, hands down. Check out Links at Chaffee Crossing's Facebook page for their daily specials and live music schedule. Links at Chaffee Crossing has dine-in or patio dining with a full view of the golf course. Also, stop by their full bar for a cold beer or a cocktail. Need a place to watch the Hog games? Links at Chaffee Crossing has that too. Get linked up at Links at Chaffee Crossing, 11707 Custard Boulevard in Fort Smith.
Laws Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Laws Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up. The vaccine is safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Laws Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Laws Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call them now, 452-6116.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
The Peter Pender Zone of Wave Rural Connect is open. That fiber internet, phone, and TV service you've been hearing so much about is now available for areas south of the Arkansas River to Coxville, to east of Cecil, and over to Roseville, with amazingly fast internet starting at $49.95 a month. Call 1-833-4WAVE-RC or go online to signup.waveruralconnect.com to get signed up. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities that we serve.
Late breaking news! Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Game Day Lodge.
They give it to Dominique Johnson, misdirects left side. Johnson at the goal line. Did he get in? Touchdown, Arkansas!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Welcome back to Hog Reaction. Hogs unfortunately fall, but keep it close, keep it interesting, and I think if there ever was a moral victory tonight was that 42-35 Bama, number 2 team in the country, edges out the Razorbacks of Arkansas. Drew Barrett, Zach Garnes, Matt Mason Choate here with you for, I don't know, we'll go until you quit calling.
We'll be here till we're done.
Yeah. We're not sure when we're going off. We know it's probably going to be within the 9 o'clock hour. So if you don't want to wait, get on the phone. Give us your hog reaction, 877-377-6963. We have a few open lines, but we will go to Gary in Fort Smith. Gary, you're on with Drew and Zach. What is your hog reaction?
Well, guys, I was proud of the effort. It's obvious we've made major upgrade in coaching up at the quarterback position, both interior linemen on both sides of the ball. But we still certainly have got a long way to go in the secondary, and so obviously that's going to be a glaring fix we've got to get on immediately, because you can't give 2 wide receivers on any team almost 400 yards. That's just, you're not going to win many games that way. But proud of the effort, and I think the most important game of the year is this Friday. And I hate those guys. We need to beat them. We need to be 8-4. That's a whole lot better than 7-5. It's a better bowl, and get you on the right track going into the off season. And that's the game that I really, really want us to take the next step and win all 3 trophy games this year and get them. And we owe those guys, and I hope we can bounce back from this tough loss. I know the guys in the locker room wanted to win. They didn't want a moral victory. I'm proud of the way they fought. But this Friday's the game for me. I really want to get over that hump, and I think that helps us get to the next level. Then we can concentrate on some of the upper echelon of the SEC.
Hey, well, I appreciate your call there, Gary. Yeah, the thing about this season, right? And he talked about winning the 3rd trophy next week, or this coming week. It's in 6 days. That's never happened. Since you've had all 3 trophy, be an option, since you've had the boot, which is the oldest, then you got the Southwest Classic trophy, and then you got the Battle Line trophy. You've never had all 3 in Fayetteville at the same time. So that right there in itself would be a huge accomplishment.
Well, Gary was talking about, giving up almost 400 yards to 2 receivers. The good news is you're not going to face a core of receivers like that very often.
That is true.
Teamed with a quarterback like that. I think there's 2 in the country. One plays in Columbus. The other one's in Tuscaloosa. But it's been I know coaches talk about breaking barriers, breaking the glass ceilings, getting the trophy from Texas A&M. That was one. This is one of those games that's been a mystery over years and over the last few years, and most of it just has to do with poor coaching. The Bielema era, John L. The whole thing has just been a mess. And I think for the first time since maybe Petrino's here, you're just sort of like, okay, we know we've got solid leadership. You know that. And I talked about it during the first segment. Okay, you can check that off. You can check off attitude and effort and all those things, all the intangible type things. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Now you just got to go and get the players that will get you to the next level. This group of guys is going to get you to 8-4, maybe 9-4 with a bowl win.
Yeah, depending on the matchup.
Exactly. And to think that I believe it was a week ago or 2, it would have been 10 days ago, is the 2-year anniversary of Chad Morris getting fired. And to think, and I was at that Western Kentucky game, and there were people groaning in the press box about guys in the secondary running free. That was when you bottomed out, and it has been a long way back. You're not there yet. You talked about being kind of halfway up the mountain, and I think you are. Rusk and I talked about this at the beginning of the season. Beat the teams you're supposed to. Get a couple that maybe you're not supposed to, and then the elite teams close the gap. Still didn't close the gap on Georgia yet, but you did close the gap on Alabama. You hung with Auburn. You've gotten to a place where you're competitive almost every single week, and that is there's something to be said for that, because you've got basically 1.5 recruiting classes in. That first recruiting class, when you have like 8 days to go and get somebody,
a little hard.
Yeah, I mean that's very, very difficult. Now, recruiting's going in the right direction. Everything seems to be trending up. Now you got to start picking off the teams like in Alabama. You get into these kinds of games. Look, you're going to go play Missouri next week. Let's be honest, Missouri's terrible.
Yeah.
They got to win today against a Florida team that's
Whoop-de-doo
clearly
in
checked
overtime.
out.
Yeah,
I mean,
Dan Mullins is
checked
done.
out. Right. So the game next week should be a game that you go in and win. Get to 8-4. You're probably going to play on New Year's Day, the Gator Bowl or one of those, the Outback Bowl. You're going to get a nice bid from the SEC.
You're going to Florida. I mean, that's the goal.
In January, sand and sun. That's what you want. And that's where you're probably headed with a chance to win 9 games. And a 9-win season after a 3-win season is a pretty big accomplishment.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, it's a huge turnaround. And I think, what you talked about, winning the games that you're supposed to, you did that. Even going into the season when a lot of people, thought 6 or 7 wins was the ceiling, you obviously did that. You won some games that you probably, might not should have. When we talk about A&M, but you won the ones that you knew you should.
Go back and review the first 4 games. Those are all games you should win.
Yes.
Looking back on it, the Rice, Georgia Southern, those check. Texas, as we've come to find out, is vastly overrated. That's a game you should have won it by the margin, which you did. All right, you check that one off. We did that. And then it's A&M. And okay, you stumbled a little bit against 3 pretty good teams in October, and then you get the week off, you collect yourself, and boom, and here we go again. And they're healthy, which is also a big deal.
That is a huge deal. You're sitting here going into your 11th game, and I think Gary Danielson brought up this point, which was a great point. The Hogs were 1 missed 2-point conversion this season from controlling their own destiny going into Bama in the final 2 games. That is that in itself can really sum up the entire season. 877-377-6963. Glad to hear from this next call. I haven't heard from him during the week in the last few weeks. Eddie in Clarksville. Eddie, that hog train still rolling down the tracks?
That's exactly right, sir. I'm so happy for this football program. Just a couple of weeks ago, I had a tumor removed from my stomach at the Cancer Institute in Little Rock. And here I am calling on the show. But more importantly, this team tonight made a statement. We left Tuscaloosa, even in a loss, with the whistle blowing. What a phenomenal showing. It was just Alabama had a couple world-class athletes, just with world-class speed. That was the difference in the football game. What a football game on both sides. What a showing by our players as well. And you can bet this. I don't know if Alabama, I don't know if Georgia's going to win a national championship, but one of them is. It's coming from the SEC. You can bet that. I don't see a better team in Alabama or Georgia, and we played both on the road. How about that? And for next year, I can see the whistle blowing in a big way. So stay aboard the hog train, and I see the whistle blowing next year, and maybe a 10-win season in the toughest schedule again in the entire country. Stay aboard the hog train and let that whistle blow.
Hey, I appreciate it, Eddie, and we're glad that you're doing better, and hope to hear from you later this week and every week going forward. Appreciate it, Eddie. 877-377-6963. Going to Brent in Ozark. Brent, what is your hog reaction?
Hey guys, first time caller. Can you guys hear me?
We got you loud and clear. First time caller. I'm hoping not first time listener though, right?
Well, no, I listen to you I listen to you guys every day.
All right, good.
Start to finish. Hey, I wanted to kind of comment on, we had our chances with, from the beginning with the fumble with KJ, and then we get a turnover with the strip by Buster Brown, and we had our chances. But I also want to go back to kind of officiating where they they went back and forth, and they didn't give us the calls we want. I mean, it's like it's clearly touchdown, and then I just didn't think the officiating was correct. I mean, especially with the number one from Alabama when he caught it from the end zone, and his left arm was definitely not underneath the ball, and then the officiating laughing and joking around with the Alabama sideline and with the quarterback Bryce Young. But I want to give a special shout out to Sam Pittman and the Razorbacks and to you guys for following this up. This is amazing. I still appreciate and the job well done for this coaching staff, and to be where they are today is amazing. And even though I'm still frustrated and wanting to throw a glass bottle at the White Hat, but I'm so proud of this team, and they keep getting beat up, but they keep coming back and fight, and that's what you do. To be successful, you got to come back. You got to keep fighting, even when you lose. You got to keep fighting. And that last play on Burke, that really got me ticked off. That wanted me to come through the glass on number 31 there, on Williams. That was unacceptable, and that should have been something, because I want to know what happened with Burke and what happened with his injury, because that looked pretty. That took him off his feet completely out there, and he's still down. And but I think we'll finish out, and then I think we'll win the bowl game, and to just lose to to Georgia and lose to the number 2 Alabama, and play really close to them. We should be in a very good bowl game. But anyways, I appreciate you guys, and keeping it clean, because there's a lot of things I want to say negative about.
Hey, well, we appreciate you keeping it clean. We are on FCC Airways, and I'd rather not have Tommy call me at 9 o'clock tonight when we get off air. So I appreciate it, Brent. Thanks for your phone call, Zach. One thing that he talked about there, being positive, everything. Loved everything that Brent said, but as far as the officiating going, and I think it was a 50-50 call. I wouldn't have been shocked either way on that Alabama touchdown. Did the ball maybe hit the turf? Yes, but you said it earlier. Indisputable evidence. And that's when you can only really say maybe. It's hard to get, for me at least, to get extremely outraged and upset about it.
It's not the other ones, doubt. It's not beyond a reasonable doubt. It is indisputable, meaning you can't argue it.
You can't lie.
If you make the call on the field that it was a touchdown, I was actually surprised that when on the touchdown catch, the referee ran to the receiver and waited for the receiver to show him the ball. I mean, what's he going to do?
I did notice that. I did see that.
I mean, that to me, if I'm going to nitpick it, that's where I'd have a little bit of an issue. But as far as going up and looking at it, I heard people screaming that his arm hit out of bounds. Well, his knee, one knee equals 2 feet. It's a famous John Madden book. His knee was down, so that's out of the equation. It's did the ball move? And and look, if you wear crimson, you're probably going to say he caught it. If you wear cardinal, you're probably going to say he dropped it.
Exactly.
So, it has to be absolutely 100% indisputable, and none of us are qualified to do it. The guys in the booth are, the guys on the field are, and Sam Pittman will probably cut it out and send it to the league office and go, what is this? But I've gotten to the point with SEC officiating because it is inconsistent. I've gotten to that point where it's just like, okay, you've just got to go to the next play, and that's what the team did. I mean, the team went to the next play. Okay, here we go. And let's, to be honest, you still, with 1 minute and 4 seconds left, we're getting ready for an onside kick. It didn't prevent you from being in a position to win the game, and that's all that you can ask. You can't point at one play in a game and say, okay, that's what cost us. There were 6 plays on the drive where you could have had Bryce Young wrapped up, and he got away from you. That dude is incredible.
No, 100%.
559 yards, 5 touchdowns. You look up, he's not overwhelming like C.J. Stroud was today, but man, he is. There was a play, I think it was in the third quarter, where Joe Fouché came off the corner. Nobody touched him. And Foucher's coming at him full speed, and Bryce Young went by him, made one move on, went by him like he was standing still. The kid's an incredible football player. And, again, with 559 passing, 5 touchdowns, 2 guys totaling nearly 400 yards, and another guy run for 127. With 1 minute and 4 seconds left, he still had a chance.
Still had a chance. Exactly.
Still had a chance.
Exactly. Before we go to break, I do just want to remind everybody out there, when it comes to officiating, the SEC is not alone. There's not a single team that likes their conference's officiating. No fan, every fan in college football thinks that their officials are the worst officials. So just keep that in mind. It's not just SEC officials. Everybody thinks that they're always getting the short end of the stick. 877-377-6963. Taking more of your calls and texts on the other side. Johnny, hold on. We'll get to you right on the other side of the break. This is Hog Reaction on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer. Pours.
Bay Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. Healthy teeth. To schedule an appointment, visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give us a call at 479-646-0706. That's 479-646-0706.
So this one time at B-Dubs, a couple of friends came in for football, and they asked for the best seats in the house, which is kind of a trick question. Since we've got wall-to-wall TVs, you can watch the game in any direction. Kind of makes every seat in the house the best seat in the house. So when I explained all that, they just sat at the bar, because you got to be close to the beer on game days. Come into Buffalo Wild Wings for the absolute best game day experience the NFL can offer. Buffalo Wild Wings, to the greatest of all times.
Touchdown! Unbelievable! Please drink responsibly.
Crabtree RV Center, leading the River Valley in sales and service for over 70 years. Founded in 1950, Crabtree RV Center has grown into one of the largest family-owned and operated RV dealerships in Northwest Arkansas, located on 17 acres, including a 26,000 square foot indoor showroom. Crabtree RV Center has everything you need, all in one convenient location. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas, making your family's dreams come true.
Make a Wake Bait and Tackle on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma has everything a fisherman needs. Rods, reels, tackle, plastics, all kinds of great baits to catch a wall hanger. Rods starting at $69.95. The biggest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reaction Innovation, Bobby Garland, Lake Fork Hugin, and more. And Make a Wake has Daiwa rods and reels, and they repair them too. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Herod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
work.
It's No Shave November, benefiting the Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation. Show support for prostate cancer survivors and help raise money to support the mission of the Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation. Donate online at arprostatecancer.org. All money raised supports Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation's free awareness and educational programs, free prostate cancer screenings, and free patient assistance programs. And every dollar raised stays in Arkansas. Prostate cancer screenings can save your life. Donate today at arprostatecancer.org.
Radio station.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith, from the Bushlight Studios. This is ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Game Day Lodge.
They give it to Dominique Johnson. Misdirects left side. Johnson at the goal line. Did he get in? Touchdown, Arkansas!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Welcome back to Hog Reaction. Drew Barrett, Zach Lawrence, Mason Choate here with you for a little while. We still haven't fully got down what time we're gonna. Yeah, we're just getting started. We're gonna be here for at least another hour. So call, text 877-377-6963. Johnny, I appreciate you holding on. I told you we'd come straight to you out of the break. So Johnny in Fayetteville, what is your Hog Reaction?
Well, couldn't be more proud of this team, obviously, the heart and the effort. I just want to start by saying that. But there's a couple of questions I wanted to ask. And you know, you argue, I may not be qualified, you may not be qualified. The officials working again obviously weren't qualified. I know there's the old saying that the ground can't force a fumble, but I also thought the ground's not allowed to assist you in making a catch. So that seems like that was questionable to me in the end zone. But I want to go back because it seems like everyone's forgetting the second quarter. And how do you explain away the fact that we had the ball obviously a yard deep in the end zone, and, oh, no, we'll just spot it outside the goal line. And they had to go to video review. And even the guys in the booth and Gene Stefator are like, I'm not real sure how this isn't already done. But like they're questioning how there wasn't a touchdown called.
The only thing that could have possibly happened, and I'm not saying this has happened, but I did ask. The only thing that could happen is if, and we'd have to see a look right down the goal line, is if your view got obstructed and you lose sight of the ball. That's the only plausible explanation for you putting it down at the one. Is you sort of lose sight of the football and you don't know where it is.
Yeah, both line judges, had their view obscured.
I'm just saying when both the guys in the booth and their officials expert are questioning the validity of the officiating, then you have to know the Birmingham fixes it, and that's something Arkansas fans are used to. But I think the more important question that no one's asked tonight, I'm so glad that Eddie seems to be feeling better, but they take that tumor out, and I'm hoping he put that in a jar and put a label on that jar, and the question is, did he write Jeff Long or Chad Morris on that label?
I'm gonna guess Jeff Long.
Have a wonderful night, guys. Go Hogs.
Hey, I appreciate it, Johnny. Thanks for the great call. What would you bet if you had a tumor removed and you had to name it? You naming it Chad Morris? You Jeff Long?
That whole decade. When you start to bring it, when Hunter comes in and he starts to redo that, it was more of an exorcism.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting rid of all of that bad vibe that you had throughout that building, not just in the football program but other programs. And instead of prioritizing, and look, it's a business, they're out there to make money, but instead of making it the business now becomes winning. And it's certainly shown across, not just football, but basketball. The soccer team.
Mm-hmm.
All of it.
Soccer team in the Sweet 16 for the first time.
Exactly. Arkansas's back in the business of winning. And it's a fun time to be around the campus, and the campus is alive, and everybody's excited. And look, after tonight you should look at the team and go, okay, that was a terrific effort. Tomorrow be pissed off. All right, we were 7 points from knocking off the number 2 team in the country. And then you go and you do what the great teams of yesterday used to do. You go and you take it out on Missouri.
Exactly. That's exactly what you have to do. And you're right about the state of Arkansas athletics in a whole. When I was first approached about this job from Ty last May, first thing I was thinking of, I know about Arkansas, obviously, just right across the river. I've somewhat followed the program. A couple of my best friends growing up were huge Arkansas fans, but I was wondering, how miserable is it going to be through football season? Because, I saw the improvement from afar last year, and I thought, well, if I could just make it to basketball season, I'm sure that will be fun. I'm sure I'll definitely enjoy getting to hop on the Must bus, right? But it's been enjoyable since day one, and especially since September on. The fact that this team and this university is going somewhere, and you can see the vision. And I'm sure it means a heck of a lot more to all of y'all that, had to come on these airways every day, had to listen to people talk about the Chad Morris era and the Bielema era and freaking Jeff Long and every crappy thing that he did to where you are now. It's absolutely phenomenal.
I was a junior when they won the basketball national title, and I remember that vibe around campus that spring. And it was palpable. You could feel it. It bordered on arrogance. Mm-hmm. And we're trending back in that direction to where you walk into every single sort of any event that they play, you're like, we got a chance to win. Not only do we have a chance to win, we're gonna win.
Exactly.
And look, you ride it as long as you can. These things don't last forever, but they are in a position right now across the board, and this all goes back to the job that Hunter Yurachek has done. It across the board, they are ready to compete with anybody, and they proved that today.
That they did. 877-377-6963. Going to the east side of the state, Forest City. Joe, what is your hog reaction?
My hog reaction, and I've been listening to this show, is what planet are you two guys living on when it comes to these referees? I have seen and had enough. Auburn last year, Auburn this year, and now this BS today I saw. Tell me this, you guys just made a statement. Y'all just said, well, the only thing you could think of is maybe both lines here is had they view obstructed on that touchdown where Johnson's laying 2 yards in the end zone. If that's the case, why didn't they just go with, well, he's laying 2 yards in the end zone and it's a touchdown, instead of coming there marking that ball on the half-yard line or whatever they did? I'm telling you, this is my opinion, and I'm observing not from today, but I've observed it for years, and it's gotten worse under Greg Sankey since he became commissioner. I am saying flat out, the SEC officiating is corrupt. People keep saying, well, they're incompetent and we need full-time officials. No, we need honest officials who are out there to do a job for both teams, not caring who wins the ball game. That Alabama reception on that last TBD, that ball moved while this guy was laying on the ground out of bounds. How did they go? Look at it on the replay and still give him the touchdown. Arkansas plays, they go back and review them, and it takes 3 minutes. Obvious plays, like that touchdown I just finished talking. Obvious thing. Warren Thompson, how do you not call that a touchdown? Why should Arkansas even have to run another play to get a touchdown? That man's clearly in the end zone. This is cool. And they sent it to the replay official, and he confirmed it wasn't a touchdown. Are you kidding me? You guys are sitting there acting like, oh, well, it's just officials making this. Oh, garbage. I've seen this crap. The Florida game some years back. That when Bobby Petrino was coach here. That was so outrageous, you had everybody in the country screaming about it. This idea that these are honest refs and they're just making honest mistakes, give me a break, man. This is crap, and this was crap today. Now, we had our chance, even after that. I agree with that. But Arkansas is not good enough, especially against teams like Alabama, to overcome these officials. Call a fair and even ball game. In Alabama, go back and look at the tape. I've already looked at part of it when the game ended. I ran it back and looked at it. Alabama has barrel hooks on guys on a lot of these plays, big plays, where these receivers got downfield. They have barrel hooks on guys, and the referee refused to call a hold. It's just ridiculous what Alabama and Auburn gets from these officials, because the SEC home office is based in Alabama. What they get from these referees is a disgrace. And I'm not going to mix words. I think they're corrupt.
Forest City Joe, I appreciate your call, and I know that's how a lot of people are feeling. But the thing about it is, and here's where I think the buck stops with the conspiracy theory, with the Birmingham fix, with the fact that they have something to win. What do they have to win? I mean, losing their job, being nationally humiliated. I mean, what does Greg Sankey really have to win? And Forest City Joe, you're not too far away from Memphis. I'd like to introduce you to a guy I used to do a Tiger football show with, John Stacy, who believes that every single call is to hurt the University of Memphis, and everybody hates them because they're people like that with every single program. And I know it's hard to hear because you are frustrated. You'd like for some things to be a little different, but when it all boils down to it, what does the SEC really have to gain? I know you can say, hey, if Alabama loses that game, then the chances of them getting 2 teams in the college football playoff is done. Well, not necessarily. Alabama beats Auburn next week. They're still in. Alabama beats Georgia. You still get 2. So coming down to it, it really didn't affect that. I mean, wouldn't Greg Sankey and the SEC want to be able to say that we're the best conference because anybody can beat anybody? The team that was at the bottom, a team that's, even having a great season right now, is still second to last in the West. Wouldn't that be better for you to say? Wouldn't that be, kind of what you would want your conferences to be? It's like, hey, it's in the SEC. It just means more. And here's the reason why it means more, because anybody can win on any single Saturday.
I love it. I love his passion. I do.
I love the passion.
It's just misplaced because on the final drive against Mississippi State, you got 2 calls that went your way.
Mm-hmm.
So and
it balances out over the course of the season. It balances
out there. And look, you only see the bad calls in the game your team plays. You didn't see all the bad calls in the Florida Missouri game because you didn't watch it. The officiating at the league level is pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
officiating in college football is bad. I mean,
well, it's because they're not full-time guys.
Exactly.
They're not full-time employees.
Make them like the NFL, and then we might get better.
This is what they do on the side. Now, I mean, as far as the thing that went upstairs, again, they might have looked at that and said, yeah, it looks, as far as the touchdown pass goes, and go, but it's got to be indisputable. Indisputable within the rules. And with all due respect to Forest Joe, the guys in the Forest City Joe, the guys in the booth have the rule book in front of them. So, and again, you're sitting there rooting for your team, and I agree. I sat there and went, I don't know. It could have gone either way. But that's what they ruled. They said it was, and I forget what did they say it was confirmed, or they say the play stands. I can't remember which way they called it, because that's the semantics. Okay, if they said it stands, it means that they couldn't tell.
Yeah, exactly.
If they say confirmed, that means that is beyond a reasonable doubt, indisputable evidence.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I mean, we talk about the Birmingham fix, as everybody likes to call it, and Big Mike from Waldron kind of wants to feed in that a little bit, saying the Mississippi State game is meaningless to the SEC. Mississippi State was a top 20 program. Mississippi State was in the CFP. Yeah, maybe they're not going to the playoff, but Mississippi State could have played themselves into a New Year's Six.
They're only corrupt in the big games. Okay,
they only hate you when you're playing Alabama.
Guys, they're bad. Okay, there are missed calls on virtually every single play. Otherwise, I mean, I've gotten to the point where I'm watching games where I see a ball thrown downfield, I just fully expect the pass interference. You're getting to that point where do you want them to call everything, or do you want them to let them play? And I don't know. I don't know where the happy medium is. I don't know. The thing. When Dominique Johnson got into the end zone, I agree. He was a yard and a half into the end zone. The only thing that I can think is that the 2 guys lost sight of the football,
and they just wanted to make sure it was right. Maybe exactly. I don't know.
And look, if
they got it right, they called it a touchdown.
They ultimately get it right.
So, I would believe in the fix if they said. If they said that it wasn't a touchdown and brought the ball back,
right.
You believe in the fix there, but ultimately you got the touchdown.
You got the touchdown. They got it right, and this is the system we're under. I believe in the old, if you ever took a business class, Business 101. Mm-hmm. Okay, identify a problem. Give me a solution. What's the solution? We can sit here and complain about it. That's fine, but what's your solution to it? And that becomes the issue. Exactly. There isn't until we take it away from the officials and put it upstairs, and all the eyes in the eye in the sky kind of thing. What's your solution? We can sit here and gripe about it, but until you give me I mean, we can say there's corruption in Birmingham. Well, show me the proof. Give me something. And then tell me what the solution is, and then we can have that discussion. But until then, this is the system everybody agrees to.
On the YouTube chat, Blakely May brings up a point, and honestly, I'll believe in the fix if this happens. Move the SEC office to Nashville. Fill it full of Vandy folks. Vandy will never be good at football. Football problem solved. I'll believe in the fix if you move the office to Nashville and Vandy is winning 10+ games. I'll believe the fix is in there because it doesn't. When you step back and you look at the broad picture of everything, Greg Sankey and the SEC folks, they want every single team to be competitive. They want their schedules to be better. They want their teams to be all 14 teams to be able to beat all 14 teams in the Big Ten, all 14 teams in the ACC. So by penalizing one team, it makes yourself look bad. I just personally just can't wrap my mind around the conspiracy. I think it all plays out in the end, and ultimately, I think Arkansas played a great game, but they still made mistakes, and that's another thing. When you bring up the referees and they hosed us, they cost us the game. Look, it's a 60-minute game. You can go back and look at a lot of stuff. You can look at some of the false starts. You can look at that KJ Jefferson fumble. I mean, you just got this huge stop on 4th down. Alabama is about to go up by 2 scores, and you stop them. And then what happens on the first play? Well, it gets loud. KJ's not expecting the snap, and he fumbles, and he loses it. Now, you did a good job. You held him to 3 points. But go back and think about that. What if KJ doesn't fumble it? What if Arkansas goes down and scores? That could have changed the game. There's so many other fine little points in a college football game that I think is just too unfair to put it all on the people in stripes. 877-377-6963. Jimmy and Fort Smith, we'll get to you as soon as we come back from the break. This is Hog Reaction. Drew Barrett, Zach Gars, Mason Chode. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Game Day.
Rocket to the 10, to the goal line. Touchdown, Arkansas!
The perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
I'm behind Lisa on the bridge, and I have jumped off. I am in the river.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
And welcome back to Hog Reaction, 877-377-6963. Like announcer man said, if you're calling and you're getting a hold signal, all of our phone lines are closed. So just wait till you hear Jimmy in Fort Smith hang up and then give us a call at 877-377-6963. I know the refereeing is going to be a hot button. I'm sure everybody on hold right now is going to want to bring this up. But let's also remember of what they did on the field, the players themselves, right? Yes. I thought we were going to be talking about how great this team did, and it was a little unfortunate. You lost the game, but you hung in there. I think it was more respectable than any of us actually truly deep down believed it would be. So let's keep that in mind. I'm not saying we all got to be hunky-dory, holding hands, peace, love, and in war type of stuff here, but, If you're calling about referees, we want to hear your reaction about that. But, finish it up with, hey, guys did great. This is what I liked. Let's be a little positive. It was good, right?
It was a good day. I
know people just want to yell at us for being nice.
Right. Yeah. It's one of the days you validate your parking ticket that the team's actually heading in the right direction. That's what today was.
Exactly. Jimmy in Fort Smith, what is your Hog reaction?
Hey, guys, I'm going to start off by saying I'm proud of the team. They went down there and they fought hard. Honestly, Alabama is a more talented team. I think they're a better team, and we went nose to nose with them. What I will say about the officiating, and I have a beef with something you said a while ago about a 2-loss Alabama team getting the college football championship. That's not going to happen. There's no way. So what you're telling me is if they beat Auburn next week, they're a shoo-in for the college football championship.
No, if they beat Auburn and then they beat Georgia.
Right. That's the only way you get two teams in. That's the only way you're going to get two teams in. If Alabama loses to Georgia, they're not getting in. If Alabama loses to Arkansas today, they're not getting in. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't think it's intentional. I think we have the worst officials in the country, but I don't think it's intentional. But let's not be naive and say there's not a financial gain for Alabama to win that game today, because there was.
I mean, you're right. There is a financial gain by the conference, Jimmy. I get that. I understand that's one way of looking at things, but I still just and like I said, maybe y'all are all right. Maybe I am naive. Maybe the fact that I've only been on this earth 27 years and I haven't been hurt and dumped on as much as everybody else, and my spirit hasn't fully been broken yet. I still like to look at the world as a nice and genuine place, and maybe that is on me, but I just don't get the fixed situation. I don't. And these referees, they want to have a job, right? They do this because they like it. And I had a conversation with Tommy off of the air. And when we're constantly criticizing referees, and this isn't just, at the NFL, college level, I mean, at high school stuff, we're going to have a tough time getting people to referee. I mean, in this age of social media, Zach, would you want to be a referee?
Oh, no.
If you're a 20-something-year-old thinking, hey, I would love to get back into sports, would love to, possibly make some money. What can I do to stay around the game? Well,
hey, man,
you can do this. You can talk on the radio, or you could be an official.
Yeah,
how many people are signing up for that right now?
It's tough enough doing this every day with social media out there. Until somebody shows me proof. I mean, concrete proof. And look, your vision, my vision, Tommy's vision, Ty's vision, all of our opinions on certain plays are going to be different. I was just having a Twitter discussion with somebody just a second ago. If the league wanted to fix this, why would you do it in such an overt and egregious method?
Exactly. To where everybody knows that the fix is on.
Exactly. Call holding on every play. If the fix is really in today, Arkansas is the most penalized team in the league. 6 penalties today for 25 yards. Alabama had 5 for 40.
And what, 4 of those were false starts?
Yeah. If you really wanted to set them back, call a holding penalty at a critical time. That's all you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you fix things. You don't go through this big, grandiose, production where everybody can see it. You just call a holding penalty on a 3rd and 5 that you converted. Now you back them up and it's 3rd and 15. That's how you fix it.
I'm with you. Big Mike and Waldron, are you calmed down a bit? Have we convinced you, or are we still naive? What is your hog reaction?
My main thing was the hits to Burke's head. That was my main thing about the officiating. And the rest of it, if you want calls, be in the top 4, or you're not going to hear, that's the hits to Burke's head. That's my main thing. Arkansas don't get a break on a targeting call. Apparently, Alabama, they weren't looking or didn't see it or something. That was my main thing. I'll talk to y'all later.
Appreciate your call, Big Mike. 877-377-6963.
Mike's upset they lost. I like that.
It is, and you can
Mike's
be upset.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm good with that.
We're okay with the emotion. That's why this show is called Hog Reaction. We do want your reactions of what you saw over a course of 4 hours on a Saturday afternoon, either down in Tuscaloosa or on your couch or at a bar or watching it at a watch party. We want your hog reaction. That's why we're here. We're here to give you the outlet to tell us what you thought and what you saw. So I have no problem with being upset. It's honestly a good sign that some people are upset, right? Because you feel like you are there. You're close. You're almost and to think that less than 2 years into the Sam Pittman era, we're sitting here seriously talking about you're close to Alabama. I mean, mind freaking blown, man.
Well, it sure beats the apathy we had 2 years ago when you're getting your head kicked in every other week. So yeah, you're closer than you've ever been to Alabama during what amounts to the Nick Saban era. I mean, guys won now 17 in a row against Arkansas, and today you had them on the ropes.
Back to the phone line, Chris in Rogers. Chris, what's your hog reaction?
Hey, buddy, I tell you what, I'm impressed with our football team. Pittman, dadgummit, we got a must bus. We need a Pittman bus.
Well, we'll have the pit stop for the must bus to stop at, right?
Yeah. You know what? We might have had, there might have been 1 or 2 officiating calls that were questionable, whatever. But I tell you what, Pittman he's turned the state of Arkansas around as far as him and Must. They've all. We got quite a crew down there in Fayetteville. And you know what? The best is yet to happen.
That is true. I think everybody can agree with that point, Chris, and I appreciate your call and your positivity about what you saw, and that there is so many good things going on in Fayetteville and on the Hill that you're excited for what the future holds. I don't think anybody here tonight, whether you're upset with the officiating, you're upset that you lost, you're still excited for what this program has to come in the future.
Look, when was the last time they were at 8 wins? It's been a while. It's been a minute since you were talking about a team that could win 8 during the regular season, then go get 9 in the postseason. Heck, I mean, it's been a while since we've talked about the postseason. So
exactly,
and you know what? This is happy griping. It's okay to complain about this today. Got to throw it away. You got 6 days to get ready for a team that's beaten you a number of times in a row. This is another one of those skeletons you got to get out of your closet. Exercise the demon next week.
Exactly.
Then you take a long 30,000-foot look at this season and go, man, we were talking about 4, 5, or 6 wins. You're at 8. Then when bowl selection day comes, you're going to be one of the last teams off the board because you're going to the better bowl. Sand and sun in January is where you want to be.
Hey, 100%. That's exactly what you want to be.
Even if it's Jacksonville.
Even if it's Jacksonville. Exactly. 877-377-6963. Back to the phones. One of my favorite texters. First time he's called me. I know, Zach, you said he's called your show multiple times. Josefa in Fort Smith. How you doing, man? What's your hog reaction?
Come on, guys. It's Josefa.
Sorry, my fault. I mispronounced it. I only read it. I never hear it.
Drew, I'm getting used to you as well, okay?
I appreciate it.
I watched that Memphis game last night, by the way.
Oh, I wish you wouldn't. I turned it off. I was so mad.
So, we got the must bus for basketball. How about the pit stop for football?
I'm all for it.
I love it. And you know what? I'm proud of this team. We had some crappy calls, blah, 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 but, dude, we shot ourselves in the foot a few times. And just to be in the game, in the beginning I was thinking, oh, crap, another Georgia game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But those guys played hard, man, and I'm happy for them. I'm like, those guys, they have done something that we haven't done in years, which, man, I know I hate the moral victories, but, man, it was a good game. It was fun to watch, and we're not 37-0. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Hey,
But,
I'm
guys,
all with you.
Nobody thought we were going to be in this position at the beginning of the year. I mean, hey, I'm hog. I don't eat pork, but I love the hog. You see what I'm saying?
I feel you.
But I never would have thought we would have won more than 5 games this year. Being a realist here, So let's just put all that to the side. We've had a great year. And, guys, we got Mizzou next week on my little daughter's birthday. She'll be 3. And Woo Damn Pig, let's keep it going, man, because this team's gonna do something, guys. Y'all know Sam Pittman is, well, hell, every coach on the hill right now is on the up.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, always. Now we're talking softball, soccer, tennis. I mean, hell, our hockey team's good. You know what I mean? So let's keep it on the up and up and root for the Hogs. And guys, this ain't the end of the world. Screw the dang West, okay? Whatever. We shot ourselves in the foot just as many times as I've seen holding penalties as I'm watching the game saying, oh, dadgum. You know what I mean? But anyway, thank you guys for having this show this late. I'm about to hit the sack. I'm going to hit the deer woods in the morning. Y'all have a good night, guys.
Hey, I appreciate your call. Good luck in the morning there. 877-377-6963. We're up against the break, so Tim, Rex, Mark, we're coming to y'all as soon as we get out of the break. Still have a few open phone lines if you want to hit us back up. 877-377-6963. We'll be right back with more of your Hog Reaction right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Game Day Lodge.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. Companies often kick off the new year with planning or goal setting retreats, and the perfect place is Game Day Lodge. They still have availability during the weeks for November and December, and Game Day Lodge is decorated for Christmas, so guests can make great family memories. It's the ideal time to book. Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
Four 452-6491 to learn. Available with select Farmers branded policies, subject to terms and conditions, underwritten by Farmers, Truck, or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Need a reason to smile? River Valley Smile Center can give you one. We are a comprehensive dental practice located in the heart of Fort Smith. From cosmetic dentistry to orthodontics, implants to sedation, we have everything you need for a brighter, healthier smile. Find out why we've been voted the River Valley's best of the best winner 4 years in a row by giving us a call at 479-646-0706. That's 479-646-0706.
Whole Hog Cafe on Phoenix Avenue is now open 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Whole Hog Cafe has party packs for your watch party, tailgate party, business meetings, or lunch and dinner for the family. You will see a few new items on the menu to go along with the award-winning barbecue and sides. Whole Hog Cafe, Phoenix Avenue, offers online ordering at wholehogfortsmith.com, along with curbside and delivery service. Or come see us 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Follow Whole Hog Cafe on Facebook and Instagram for specials.
Reduce your home energy bills while increasing your comfort. AOG and OG&E are offering a weatherization program that provides free home energy efficiency upgrades to current customers in Arkansas and Oklahoma. If your home is at least 10 years old, it may qualify for these upgrades, which include attic insulation, caulking, air sealing, weather stripping, and LED lighting. To find out how you can benefit from these free home weatherization improvements, contact 844-413-3065 or visit AOGC.com.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
You've trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance, all without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
Don't let Santa pass your truck or car by this Christmas season. River Valley Truck Outfitters has all your vehicle's accessories ready for his stop, starting with WeatherTech accessories, window tinting, bed covers, and much more. Santa can help you with all your accessories needs. Just ask River Valley Truck Outfitters on Highway South 71 at the top of Rye Hill to assist. Gift cards, bed covers, and special wheels and tires. River Valley Truck Outfitters, your Santa's one-stop truck accessory store. Call 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
Family first. My dad used to tell us that all the time. But family first wasn't just something he'd say to us. It was how he lived every day of his life. And it's how I try to live mine too.
At Shelter Insurance, our agents are dedicated to helping provide personalized auto, home, and life protection that puts your family first.
Ask Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith about Shelter's home insurance.
ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Game Day Lodge.
They give it to Dominique Johnson, misdirect, left side, Johnson at the goal line. Did he get in? Touchdown, Arkansas!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Welcome back to Hog Reaction. Drew Barrett, Zach Garnes, Mason Choate here with you for, I don't know, maybe 40, 45. When y'all stop calling, we'll stop answering. Or eventually we'll just get to the point where we'll say no more, no mas, we're done. But this is Hog Reaction, brought to you by Game Day Lodge, the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, team building activities, and everything else in between. The 10 bedrooms with 19 beds. You have 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, fire pit, 2 grass grills, cornhole, outdoor basketball court, heated indoor swimming pool and sauna open year around in walking distance. Only 5-minute walk to Table Rock Lake, 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Perfect place for retreats, for family vacations, and you got to contact them at reservations@lakelodge.rent. Game Day Lodge. Also, you can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And when you do, ask about the Green Gable Lodges as well. 877-377-6963. Back to the phones. Tim in Palm Beach. I'm guessing that's Florida. Is there Palm Beach, Arkansas? I'm still learning the towns. But, Tim, what is your hog reaction?
No, it's still Palm Beach.
Okay. I didn't know. There's a lot of multiple cities in this state that have the same name as cities in other ones. So I just wanted to make sure.
With total respect, but Zach and I have had a couple of conversations, but there are some people that we still have to simmer down now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some people that still think that there is a 13-0 win, and then there's some people that still think we're doing like 5-7. So we have to figure out how to get these people to simmer down now. Losing to Alabama is not a bad thing. They're 2. We're 20.
21.
What was it? 21?
Mm-hmm.
21. So we're still gonna raise in the
CFP rankings. Yeah, Tim, I agree. I think the Arkansas will get better in the rankings on Tuesday.
But we still have to figure out how to get Missouri, because I saw those guys tonight, and, they're kind of scary a little bit. I think we can take them, but I want 9-4. I truly want 9-4. And you guys have a great night.
Hey, I appreciate your call, Tim. And I think 9-4 is still it's on the table. I mean, 8-4 in the regular season is definitely on the table against Missouri. And all due respect to Tim, Florida's really bad. Tim Mullen is out at Florida. If he makes it to Monday, by the time that I come on air, I may pass out. I may just quit my job, because I feel like that is the lock of all locks, that Dan Mullins will be fired by Monday.
I hope cooler heads prevail. 12 months ago, they were in the SEC title game. You can't. Look, Texas is a mess. Florida's a mess. It's more of a culture problem than the individual. I don't think it's a Sarkisian problem, because he just got there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a Mullen problem, because 12 months ago he was. They were in the top 5. They were one of the teams making an argument that they should have been in the college football playoff. Dan Mullen didn't get stupid overnight. As far as Missouri goes, I was telling you off air during one of the breaks that Eli Drinkwitz. This is one of the. Remember when Gus used to get all riled up for the Arkansas game and kind of circle that game? This is the same thing with Eli Drinkwitz. He doesn't have the personnel that Gus had at Auburn, but this is one of those games that gets his antenna up. And this is one of those games that he circles, and he wants this one badly. He's from Alma, coached in Springdale. He wanted this job, and this will have their full attention. So you don't have to worry about them going into the game thinking that you're going to catch Missouri flat coming off a win over Florida. This is one of those things. But Tim's also right. You just stood toe to toe with Alabama. Nothing
to be sad about.
Absolutely not. And, referees notwithstanding, or, conspiracies notwithstanding, I mean, you stood toe-to-toe with the number 2 team in the country, and that is something that you 24 months ago you couldn't do.
Exactly. 877-377-6963. Going back to the east side of the state. Shouldn't have to worry about any curse words here, because Mark in Jonesboro, he's in a dry county, so he shouldn't have been drinking tonight. So, Mark, what is your hog reaction?
Hey, guys. I am all of the emotions tonight, and let me throw the disclaimer out that I am 100% sober.
Good.
So
glad to hear it.
With your 7-second delay. I had zero expectations coming into this game, because Arkansas, the last several years, the last time that Arkansas could point to 1, 2, 3, 4 plays and be like, golly, if those 2 to 3 plays go different, we beat Alabama. The only one I could think of in recent memory was 2014, when you lost 14-13 in Fayetteville. That's the last time. That's been 7 years ago. For 7 years, we've been, if you put it into boxing terms, it's been a first-round TKO stoppage for 7 years. And tonight, you stood there, you went the full 15 rounds. You basically made the judges decide to for Alabama to get the win, if you put that into boxing terms. Now that said, after looking at it, I'm kind of sad, and after looking at some of the things on Twitter from the post-game comments that some of the players had, they're pissed.
Mm-hmm.
They're angry that they lost this game. You know, a lot of us fans, and myself included, I'm not a big moral victory guy, but I took the moral victory lap tonight. But just because of the fact that, like you guys have pointed out, you stood there, you went toe-to-toe, you recover the onside kick, and who knows what happens. You know, I mean, crazy things can happen as
for
we've
sure.
seen in Razorback games in the past. So to be in that position and considering where this program, guys, 2 years ago, this program was on life support and the plug was about to be pulled. I mean, the plug was barely hanging in the wall on the life support. And 2 years later, to be in Tuscaloosa with a chance to tie or win the game with a minute left, are you kidding me? I mean, let's just take the officiating out of it, because officiating across the board in the SEC is atrocious. It is a joke, and it needs to be fixed if the SEC wants to go with this slogan of "it truly means more." You know, if it really means more, get some officials that are competent. You know, part of me wants to buy into the conspiracy thing, but part of me just says they're just incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get full-time officials, make them like NFL. The money would not be an issue, so that can be fixed if they want to fix it. But I have a hard time being upset after the performance that this team put on tonight. And what I want to see now, and Zach, you're the only one that's going to get this reference. I want to go beat Missouri so bad that it makes Arkansas basketball's last appearance in the SWC tournament look like a children's program. Okay? The Sweet Tom,
He's right, I didn't get it.
120 to 89.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want that to look like Cocoa Melon compared to what we do to Missouri. We cannot beat them bad enough to suit me now. So I want Grant Morgan and Bumper Pool and all these guys that are just ticked off at the fact that they had number 2 on the ropes and just couldn't land the knockout punch. Go get that first round stoppage on Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And let's roll into a bowl game somewhere tropical with an 8-4 record. Thanks, guys.
Hey, I appreciate the call, Mark, and you're exactly right. Beat the brains off of Missouri. Make Eli Drinkowitz wave a white flag before you even get to halftime. I think that'll be great.
I gotta be honest. I'm a little uncomfortable with him making 1989 references and me getting them, because I think that was a swipe at me for being a little older. But
I mean, you are. I mean, I was still 6 years later till I was even born. So, like,
really appreciate that.
Hey, I'm just wanted to make sure you remembered that.
That's fantastic.
But before we go back to the phones, I do just want to bring up this point because I just thought about this. You remember when Texas and OU were first announced they were joining the SEC, you had a lot of articles come out about Arkansas should lead the SEC to join the Big 12 so that they can compete and give their fans something to root for. Tonight, you officially made every single person that put pen to paper, fingers to keyboard, that wrote that ridiculous type of article, and there were multiple of them. There were multiple people out there that said Arkansas shouldn't be in the SEC. They can't compete. It's not fun for the players. It's not fun for the fans. They need to leave a conference. You just made them eat crow. Mm-hmm. You just showed every person that in national media that doubted you, said that you couldn't be in a game with Alabama, that you need to drop down a level. You made them eat crow tonight, and that is something I think that not only just the fans but the players they should remember that. I know they're pissed, they're ticked off, they're upset, but remember all the people that doubted you. You just went toe to toe with the team who could possibly win the national championship, when no other team in one of those other conferences that they said you could beat would have done as good.
Yeah, no, it's 100% correct. And it's a disappointing night, but it's also a night I think in a couple of weeks you're going to look back and go, okay, you know, this was a good day.
Exactly. 877-377-6963. Going to David in Fayetteville. David, what is your hog reaction?
I'm proud of them. It was a good effort. I think if it would have been a fair ref game, it would have been a lot closer. I don't know if we would have won, but that Alabama touchdown at one, that guy was obviously juggling the ball. And what's frustrating is every time we seem to be involved in a situation like that, they got like maybe 1-2 camera angles, and one of them is like from the top of the stadium. But then when they're trying to overturn our obvious touchdown, they've got like 5 different camera angles in your hip pocket. Have you noticed that? I mean, that's sort of frustrating. But I mean, the SEC. I'm with Joe with Forest City. I don't know if all the SEC officials are corrupt, but there's one crew out there, and I ain't gonna mention anybody's name, especially that guy Mark Curls.
Hey, David, real quick. I don't know if you know if the Birmingham fix is on for the state of Alabama. If you've turned on the Auburn South Carolina game, but South Carolina's winning. So if there's such a bias against Alabama schools, why is South Carolina a pretty bad 5-5 team up on Auburn? I mean, do they just fix the games that they want?
I mean, I can't. But they fix the games that they just don't want to see Arkansas succeed because other schools. Arkansas is one of the more unique states, like Alabama. We don't have it. Our football team is the premier sports program of the state, and that's the way Alabama is. You couldn't. And before we're doing the SEC, we're a lot like Alabama in that respect. But they don't want to see us take over, the helm of that, because they've ruled the SEC forever. But that one guy, that Mark Curls guy, I don't know. You said you were 27 years old. You probably don't remember this, but back Nick Saban's first year at Alabama, they got beat by Florida. All the ESPN talked about for the next year was the rematch with Florida and Alabama. Well, a couple of weeks before, you had Lane Kiffin's Tennessee team beating that Alabama team, and they got cheated. And then he actually went on record and said, if y'all want to just go ahead and crown Alabama or Florida the champion without the rest of us playing, just go ahead and we'll forfeit the game, something to that effect. He got fined big time over it. The guy reffing that game, Mark Curls. A couple of weeks later, Arkansas goes to Florida, kicks their butt all day. The only way they can move the ball all day long is penalties. I mean, it was so bad. I mean, you had players like Deion Sanders tweeting to other teammates to say, "You got to watch this Arkansas-Florida game. They're downright cheating these Razorbacks." And
David, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we do have other people on the phone. I appreciate your call.
Just one last comment.
All right, 30 seconds.
That same guy, Mark Curls. A couple of weeks ago at the Tennessee game when they were rioting over that bad call where they said they didn't make a first down, guess who's reffing is the reffing crew? The guy, Mark Curls. That guy needs to be fired. He don't ever need to be ref a SEC game. Because if there's controversy involved, that guy will be involved like 80% of the time.
I appreciate your call, David. It's hard to cut you off, but we do have other people that want to get their hog reaction in, and I don't know. I mean, I want to say something different than what we've already been saying, right? Like,
there's no conspiracy, guys.
I mean,
I just Googled keys to a conspiracy. I'm sure the FBI is going to come busting through my door in any minute. In a conspiracy, you keep the circle tight.
Mm-hmm.
It's don't you think
if everyone knows about it,
if everyone knows about it, somebody would say something.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody would have an email or a DM or a text or something. They're just bad at their jobs. That's it.
Heck, I can barely trust some of my closest friends not to get drunk and say a secret that I've told them, let alone a full-on conspiracy.
Somebody who was let go by the SEC, who is no longer an SEC official, probably would have said something by now. It doesn't exist. They're just bad at their jobs.
I'm with you. 87. And real quick, if you do get called by the FBI, just let me know.
Yeah, if somebody comes busting through the door.
The Mrs.'s father is retired FBI. He's still got some connections, so I can help you out there.
That.
I got the hookup. 877-377-6963. David in Fort Smith, thanks for holding on. Appreciate it. What's your hog reaction?
All right. First of all, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
You want to hear something different?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. Let's start off by saying, look at us now. We're 7-4, and you're number 2 after a dumpster fire for almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Petrino drove this program into the ground, and now, look at us now.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Say
it for the people in the back.
Preach, my brother.
Listen to this. State of Arkansas, everybody listen. Trey Knox. Look at Trey Knox. Look at him tonight. We've been waiting on his breakout game. Here it is. We got us another, maybe even a Traylon Burks to give him another year. He's special, and he showed himself tonight. Not only him, Blake Kern. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at them catches. I mean, those are some catches right there. Not to mention the one-handed one, but the fake field goal and then, going in for a touchdown. Perfect. And then my boy, K.J. Jefferson. Tyler Wilson and Ryan Mallett have always been my favorite 2 quarterbacks. Shows my age. But KJ's making his way up in there. I want to give a shout-out to the whole coaching staff, every one of them. They all had a part in it. And all of those players who have invested their time and their hearts into the state of Arkansas, because we are the state of Arkansas's team, the Arkansas Razorbacks. That's who we are. And I am deeply invested in Razorback football, basketball, and baseball. I love all the sports, and I have love for them all. But you bet your butt I'm keeping up with basketball and football for sure. And a shout-out to Coach Muss on that part right there, because that dude is the real. And we're going to be winning championships with this guy. We got a coach now on that side, too. But let's get back to football real quick, and I'll let somebody else talk. Guys, yeah, we lost, and I don't like to lose. Nobody likes to lose. But the thing is this is year 2.
Exactly.
And
you're ahead of schedule.
You're ahead of schedule, and you may even take a step back next year by 1 game or 2 games because of the way recruiting works. But year 4 and 5, you're talking about winning the SEC probably. I feel like that's kind of my expectation. I feel like at year 5, you should be competing for the West at least. You got all your players in there that you want, and I think Sam Pittman's the guy to do it. Now, is Barry Odom and Kendall Briles going to be there, or Scott Fountain? Who knows? But Sam Pittman is something special, and he loves this state like I do, and you do, and everybody else in this state that loves it. So rest assured, guys, we're in good hands. And basketball's starting up. Yeah, they look a little rusty right now, guys. They're going to tear it up this year. They are going to make some teams look real bad. And this football team, next week, Missouri, they know what they got coming. And I know we're hurt, but guess what? We ain't that hurt. Missouri, Eli Drinkwitz, here we come. We're coming for you guys, and you're going to feel it this time.
Hey, I appreciate the call, David. Thank you for the positivity and not dragging the referees through the mud again.
Drew, I just got a text from a friend of mine. And, and everybody just take a deep breath. You know who had a good day today? It was CBS. Why? Because you had a competitive game that in the 2:30 window, everybody watched. You know, a good day, the day that A&M beat Alabama on national television was CBS. What do we know about college football? What drives the bus? It's television. Yeah, that's true. CBS has had a great day. If there was some sort of conspiracy, CBS would have to be in on it. Oh, for sure. And if CBS isn't on it, then somebody would have said something by now. Exactly. CBS had a good day today. All the networks ever care about are 3 things. The equipment works, their checks clear, and you get a competitive game. That's it. That is 100%. All they care about. CBS had a good day today. That's what they want. They want Arkansas to be good so that when they go and play Alabama, they don't get a game like ABC had today where you've got Ohio State. Bad. ABC did not have a good day in the 2:30 window. No, or the 11 o'clock window. I, like a lot of people, turned it off before halftime. Exactly. Because it was 42-0 with 6 minutes to go in the first half. And I can assure you that Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson could not care less who won the game. Just give them a good game, make sure the equipment works and the check's clear. Well, that's it. I think it might be just as hard to convince people
that Gary doesn't care when it comes to Alabama or the SEC games, as hard as it's been to convince that the fix is not in for the SEC.
You're right. I retract my statement, Counselor.
You went a little too far there. Just edge it back down a little bit, and you've got the sweet spot. 877-377-6963 up against the break, but we are going to get to Paul in Hot Atlanta in the ATL. Paul, what is your hog reaction?
Oh, we're big, guys. Hey, we were in Athens and watched that game, and that was tough to watch. That was early season, but if you we're 7-4, Texas is 4-7. Come on, Hog fans. They paid $58 million to get rid of a set of coaches and to bring one in. We're in good shape. Look at all the other teams. I was going to ask you guys too. You got which seniors are leaving? Do we think we're going to lose anybody in the portal through the NFL? And are we going to be able to keep our coaches?
Well, that's a big question there, Paul.
That's a very large question.
As you win, and you kind of talk about wanting to have that Alabama mentality, have that blueprint that they use. What happens to Alabama year in and year out? They reload. They reload not only players but coaches. Right, their OCs and DCs and position coaches are constantly leaving for bigger, better jobs, for those head coaching jobs. So when you have that revolving door of assistants, that means your program's headed in the right direction. Obviously, we'd love to keep Kendall, would love to keep Barry Odom, but I think it'd be a great thing and it's a good sign for what's ahead. And as far as you probably can touch on, transfer portal. I don't know very much about who would be considering the portal, but I think this team's is bought in. I wouldn't be shocked if you lost very few, a lot less than a lot of other schools.
The good news is, as far as the transfer portal goes, is you're going to lose a lot of guys just to graduation.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to lose all of those super seniors, and there are going to be some guys that are going to be that are going to have some choices to make. Obviously, Traylon Burks is gone, but the good news is, you're bringing back KJ Jefferson. You're starting with your offense there. You're going to have to replace a lot of that defense, and that's I think next year you're going to see a much younger team. You're going to see a lot of guys that haven't played as much.
Mm-hmm.
Catalan's got a decision to make, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what they do there. But the good news from that standpoint is, with all of those guys leaving, playing time's going to open up. And what's the number one reason guys leave? It's because they can't get on the field. So they're going to be their help wanted sign's going to be all over that offense and defense next year, and it'll be interesting to see how many of the guys that we're just starting to see. You see some unfamiliar numbers playing in the secondary or at the second level on the defensive line, to see those guys starting to move in. One thing, and we do this a lot. We really got on Scott Fountain early in the year for some of the gaffes that they were having. He's been really good the last few weeks, and we said it on Friday. There's no way they're running a fake kick this week, and sure enough, they sure did. So, give him a lot of credit. They have gotten a lot better in the special teams area, and they are now better than competent, and it is now becoming a weapon. Reed Bauer knocked one down inside the 5-yard line tonight. It was, they've gotten very, very good in the special teams area, and that the trick play tonight was really one of them.
You've improved in all three aspects of the game, Paul. I really appreciate your call, appreciate your positivity, and you have a great night down there in Hot Atlanta. All right.
Take care, guys.
Hey, thanks. That's how it's done. 877-377-6963. Mike in Mountain Home will get to you on the other side of the break. One last segment, guys. If you want to call in, get your hog reaction, shoot us some text. We'll read some text. I know we haven't had a lot of time to get to that because our phone lines have been so busy. We'll read some of your texts here in the last segment. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Drew Barrett, Zach Garnes, Mason Choate. We're on the other side of the break right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You're listening.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. Companies often kick off the new year with planning or goal-setting retreats, and the perfect place is Game Day Lodge. They still have availability during the weeks for November and December, and Game Day Lodge is decorated for Christmas, so guests can make great family memories. It's the ideal time to book spring golf trips to Branson before the dates fill up. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. Not a fan of horns up? Neither are we. We prefer horns down on the grill or smoker, especially when flavored with Rub It Snout all grub rubs. Take your food to the next flavor level and be sure to tantalize each of your taste buds. Seriously, try it on anything: fruit, nuts, veggies, meat, snack foods, you name it. Spread the rub. Go to RubItSnout.com to place your order and see where Rub It Snout products are sold. Rub It Snout ships anywhere in the U.S. and offers free local delivery.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Make Awake Bait and Tackle on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma has everything a fisherman needs. Rods, reels, tackle, plastics, all kinds of great baits to catch a wall hanger. Rods starting at $69.95. The biggest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reaction Innovation, Bobby Garland, Lake Forgoogan, and more. And Make Awake has Daiwa rods and reels, and they repair them too. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. It's No Shave November, benefiting the Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation. Show support for prostate cancer survivors and help raise money to support the mission of the Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation. Donate online at arprostatecancer.org. All money raised supports Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation's free awareness and educational programs, free prostate cancer screenings, and free patient assistance programs. And every dollar raised stays in Arkansas. Prostate cancer screenings can save your life. Donate today at arprostatecancer.org. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
You know that Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment in Fort Smith is your go-to shop for everything pressure washers. But did you know that they also handle your industrial pump and supply needs too? It doesn't stop there. Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment's industrial vacuum trucks can handle dry, liquid, and even sludge removal from several hundred feet away. Leave the cleanup to the professionals. Contact Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment at 782-3762. That's 782-3762. Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment, 3116 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith.
For more than 80 years, Forsgren Inc. has been building the foundations of the River Valley and beyond. Forsgren, a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence, is now hiring experienced concrete finishers and heavy equipment operators. Apply now from any mobile device at forsgreninc.com. Forsgren is a heritage company and a premier employer. Don't miss this opportunity to become part of the Forsgren legacy. Apply now from any device anywhere at forsgreninc.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Don't let Santa pass your truck or car by this Christmas season. River Valley Truck Outfitters has all your vehicle's accessories ready for his stop, starting with WeatherTech accessories, window tinting, bed covers, and much more. Santa can help you with all your accessories needs. Just ask River Valley Truck Outfitters on Highway South 71 at the top of Rye Hill to assist. Gift cards, bed covers, and special wheels and tires. River Valley Truck Outfitters, your Santa's one-stop truck accessory store. Call 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
You deserve to get good service and great rates. At State Farm, we get it, and we're here to help because with every State Farm policy, you get good neighbor service and you get surprisingly great rates. So what are you waiting for? Get going and talk to a local State Farm agent about your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
When you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Jason Glover in Fort Smith today.
ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Hog Reaction, presented by Game Day Lodge.
They give it to Dominique Johnson, misdirects, left side, Johnson at the goal line. Did he get in? Touchdown, Arkansas!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Welcome back. Last segment here on Hog Reaction. Drew Barrett, Zach Carnes, Mason Choate here with you for just about another 10 minutes or so. So if you got a Hog Reaction, get it into us right now at 877-377-6963. We go back to the phones. Mike, thanks for holding on. Mike in Mountain Home, you're on with Drew and Zach. What is your Hog Reaction?
All right, boys. I got to admit, like, at the end of the first half, I was pretty curious about our play calling. Like, I thought we needed to score one so they didn't get back-to-backs.
Mm-hmm.
But my other 3 points are, maybe Tommy can help me on this, but, like, when I saw that bobble, I literally rewinded on my 70-inch TV, and I saw his whole body fly off the ground, bobble, and then the first thing to hit was his elbow outside of bounds. Maybe you guys already talked about it. I just got on now, but like that really pissed me off, man. I'm not gonna lie.
First of all, nice flex on the 70-inch television.
I
love the way you just kind of slipped that in.
It's a lot bigger than the 30-inch I was watching it on.
When he gave it to me, it's got a line across it, but I like it, and I don't even notice the line anymore. I'm actually watching the Blues right now. I don't know if you boys like hockey, but
big hockey guy, huge hockey guy. Let's go Preds. They lost today though.
On the touchdown catch, his knee touched in the end zone. So one knee equals 2 feet.
But then I saw the bobble, and his whole body came off the ground. Do you not have to reestablish?
I'm going to have to look that rule up because, again, when they made the call, it said when the referee came out and he makes the call, the play stands. It means they didn't have indisputable evidence. So they were looking at something.
Well, my 70-inch had pretty indisputable evidence that his whole body came off the ground and he was bobbling, and then the first thing to touch was his elbow outside of bounds. I mean... And I'm not going to lie, man.
I mean,
that's a tricky thing.
The easiest way to get accountability here, and I've gotten some tweets as we've been going through tonight talking about accountability with the referees, and they do have a level of accountability. They're graded. And then if they are graded poorly, they don't do the high visibility games. But I think in a situation like this,
I'm not saying we got cheated or anything like that, guys. I'm not going to say we got cheated.
No. Just hear me out on this.
The intentional grounding was BS, right? The intentional grounding was BS.
Just hear me out on this. But what I'm saying is, I think there should be an official's representative there who should be able to be questioned by the media. Because the worst thing that you can have is in something like this, where you throw it upstairs, they make the ruling, and then game on. Give us an explanation. Give us an explanation as to what you were seeing.
Terrible tonight, though.
I'm just saying.
I forget who called it. The upstairs rulings were terrible tonight. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. And I'm pretty fair. Like when we lose, we lose. But like when I feel like I've been cheated, I'm like, I'm not so sure.
Just a little accountability and a little less. They need to explain things like that. If they explained it to us, I think we would all feel a little bit better. I disagree with it, but you at least know how they were thinking.
What did you guys feel about the end of the first half, though? I felt like we needed to do something there, and it felt like we just kind of were like, okay, we'll run it. And there were some peculiar runs with 3 minutes left, too. I mean, a couple worked out, but a couple I was like, I'm not so sure.
That is something that will probably be talked about. And again, and I've seen this in other games where you don't know what the physical makeup of your players are. Some of your guys may be gassed. Some of you,
that is true. You need to go into that.
The flu's going around. You may have a couple of guys that aren't feeling quite right, and maybe you just want to get to halftime. We don't know. I'm not making excuses.
I felt like it's Alabama, and we had to go ahead and even just get a field goal because we were at the 25, 30-yard line. I was like, we got to do something. Like we let a minute go off the clock. I was like, let's move the ball here a little bit, boys.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I'm not going to say I disagree with you, Mike, but like Zach says, there's so many different things that go into it. We don't have headsets on. We don't know what they're talking about, right?
I'm not going to be a sour hog. You know what? I'm pretty impressed with what we did. I'm pretty sure that we'll take care of Missouri pretty easily next week. But man, what a season of what it could have been! Like the 2-point conversion, blowing it against Auburn, man, we could have had a season this year, huh?
Hey, I was talking during the break. You really were, and Mike, I really appreciate your call, 877-377-6963. Just a few more minutes left. Talking during the break, realistically, you really were only out of 2 games. I mean, yeah, you were definitely out of the Georgia game. And I think you can put Auburn kind of in that same category. You're pretty much out of it the entire second half. But you're a 2-point conversion away from Ole Miss to going into this week controlling your own destiny. I mean,
don't disagree. There were some games that you won that might have gotten away from you.
Mm-hmm.
With a play here or a play
that
there.
is true. I mean, who's to say State, if they had to redo their kicker, makes it.
Exactly. So it's like Phil Steele says, these things sort of they sort of even
They
out
balance
over time. Over time, you're going to win some that you shouldn't. You're going to lose some that you shouldn't. And it's going to balance itself out. The sign of a good team, and what I think the reason they're winning a lot of the closer games that they're in is because of the experience of these, this group of super seniors and the seniors that you have on this team, and certainly the leadership of Sam Pittman. This thing is so far ahead of where it should be, based on where they were. And it's it's fun to watch. Yes, it's frustrating at times. It's maddening at times. I know people are questioning play calling out, but you know what? These are good things to be questioning. You're not questioning, oh God, who's going to be the coach next year?
Yeah, you're not questioning whether Sam Pittman knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
Which a lot of people, when he got hired, thought would be the case, through a year or two of, man, he has no idea what he's doing. He's never ran a program. It's obviously clear, this is way over his pay grade, way over his head. We need to figure, we obviously failed again with the hire, 2 back-to-back bad hires. What is Hunter Yurachek going to do to save his job? That's a conversation that a lot of people thought you were going to have.
Well,
that's not the conversation.
It's also not an unfair question when you hire a guy at a Power 5 university that you're now requiring a complete and total rebuild. It's not an unfair question to go, okay, well, what is it about this guy? And I thought Hunter Yurachek, after the hire, sufficiently explained why the hire was made. But I don't think anybody was out of line by going, okay, you're talking about a total rebuild and you're bringing in a guy who's never been a head coach before.
Who's never built anything.
Right. But clearly he had a vision, and the vision is starting to come true. Now, you've said it before, you're only about halfway up the mountain. You've got to get to that point where games like today, when you're playing the number 2 team in the country, they're number 2 for a reason, but you want to win 1 out of 3. Against a team that's ranked in the top 5. That's a reasonable
request.
It's a reasonable expectation. And Bobby Petrino never did it. I mean, the 2 years that they were 10 and 11, they lost to Alabama and LSU. So it's we're getting there. We're getting there, but it's still got some time left, and it's going to have some. There's probably going to be some more bumps in the road, especially next year when you take a step back in experience.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, where you are today is just so much higher, more than where you ever expected this thing to be 2 years ago when the Sam Pittman hire was announced, and what you've been able to do, and just the positivities that you can take out of this game and out of this season when you step back, reflect, go week by week, and just see the progression that you've made week in and week out has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, from this we talked about with the special teams, from the defense has been somewhat of a roller coaster, but you feel like you got your footing back under you on the defensive side of the ball. And of course, KJ Jefferson, just what he's done game in and game out is absolutely phenomenal. If after Rice, I would have told you that KJ Jefferson was going to throw for 3 touchdowns, 22 of 30 against Alabama, I don't know if you'd believe me, but if I told you that after Ole Miss, you'd believe me. And that just shows the progression that he's made.
Yeah, and again, I've talked to a number of people who were there during the summer, and with the time that they poured into him, this is not a surprise to them. And again, you're talking about a guy who's had over 3 full seasons up here, limited reps. He started 2 games, started at LSU under Barry Lunney in that disaster season in 19. Then last year he got the start against Missouri, and then you're starting to see the full athletic, the full athletic maturation of a guy that is still evolving. He's going to be a different quarterback at this time next year than he is now. He's still very raw. He still throws the ball occasionally. He'll throw it behind or high or low or whatever. His mechanics aren't great, but he's so young, and he's so young in his development. There's nothing but potential there.
There really is. And everything that you have coming back, you're losing a lot, right? It's going to be hard to replace, a guy like Grant Morgan on that defensive side of the ball. It's going to be hard to replace a first-round draft pick in Traylon Burks. but you just feel the confidence and you feel so good going forward. Zach, got about 40 seconds left. Anything else? Last remarks you'd like to say?
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Your football team is good. It's okay to smile and let it go for the next couple of days. It's a good day. They went toe-to-toe. Now all you got to do is reload next year and go get them again.
Hey, exactly. Couldn't have said it any better myself. Just like Ice Cube says, today was a good day. And you might have lost, but you see the positivity. You see the great things. You see what you have forward. And ultimately, a lot of our calls were about a conspiracy of the referees and not about how Sam Pittman doesn't know what he's doing. So I will definitely take that. Thank you all so much for your interaction. Thanks for your phone calls. For Zach Arns, for Mason Choate, I'm Drew Barrett. Have a wonderful and blessed night.
My fondest childhood memories are from volunteering with my grandmother. Helping others was her passion. She'd always say, the sweetest fruits of life come from serving others. And she was right.
At Shelter Insurance, we strive to make a positive impact in the